before she said it. So she like pulled the mic away from her mouth and she said like, take that hood off your head. And then I took the mic and moved it away from my mouth. And I said, ask me why I'm wearing it. I said, before I take it off, ask me why I'm wearing it. And she was like, well, we can talk about it later. I was like, we sure can. But in the meantime, hoodie on. Let's get it.
Yeah.
Hoodie on. So to answer that, the reason why I actually wear the hood is because of Trayvon Martin. Now, people might get that misconstrued and be like, oh, but Trayvon Martin, okay, you're symbolizing that. Okay, yes, it's in remembrance of him, but it's because of the fact that as we become adults, we lose one of the first things that we were actually taught when we were in school. And one of the first things that they teach us when we were in school is do not judge a book by its cover. And you see somebody, I don't think that Trayvon Martin was murdered because of the fact that he was a bad person. I think it was a situation where a gentleman saw him and he just feared him. Like he feared what he saw.
What he associated
What he
with.
associated a bad person to look like. And mind you, yes, he was out late and he probably should not have been. But at the same time, you know, okay, he was wearing a hoodie. He was on the way home. If the conversation was had differently, it might not have ended that way. If it was, excuse me, sir, what are you doing out this late? Are you okay?
Yeah.
Are you okay? Are you lost? Are you in the wrong area? And if he said, no, I'm not lost. I'm just going home. It's late. I went to the store. I live right down here. Then it's like, okay, just back off because you're not a cop. You're not a security guard. That's not your thing. It's just you asked.
Yeah, it's a simple question.
And you could have let it be from there.
Exactly.
So I believe that that young man lost his life from fear. It was a misunderstanding by somebody it's because somebody was miseducated.
Absolutely.
Somebody was miseducated. That's all it was. He was judging a book by its cover, and that's not what we're taught to do. So as you become an adult, you lose that. But when you're in school and kindergarten, you're supposed to abide by it.
Yeah, they change things, and then they tell you, oh yeah, take the.
So that's why when I get on stage and I speak and I got the all black on, I got the hat on, and I got the hood on, bro, it's not because I'm trying to be a rebel. One, this is just who I am. I've always dressed like this. And two, I'm comfortable. Three, you should not judge a book by its cover.
Of course. And I think that's so powerful, man, that you embracing that and you're talking about that, because that is such a statement that, we as people, I feel like we all do it at times to certain things. Some obviously less than others, but that is such a message that I've personally always been very, very important to me, extremely important to me, because I see people and when you judge a book by its cover, man, you miss out on so many blessings in your life, and you miss out on so many good relationships with people. Not even just through people, through situations, through jobs, through anything, environments, like you got to really just get to know it. At the end of the day, you got to get to know the person, you got to get to know the situation and ask questions, and don't be afraid to get to know, and don't be afraid to go through the process to actually see if this person, this thing, this job, this book, whatever it is good for you. Absolutely. Because literally, if it was just left where it is as far as judging a book by its cover, I probably wouldn't be here today. Like my mom, my mother and my father are both heroin addicts. So if they judged my mother and my father, as just what they saw, because if you judge somebody based on what you just see and not what they could be, like
that's actually say that one more time for the people in the back.
Yeah, like if you judge somebody based off of what you see and not what they could be, it's over. That's it. That's the end of the story for that person.
Yes.
But I like thinking about it, it's like, man, they judged my mom. They judged my dad. Like my father was a drug dealer and they thought that's all he could possibly be. And he changed the narrative. And all it took, I believe we all have superpowers, bro. I believe that willpower is a superpower. It is a superhuman feat to be able to say, I'm not going to do this, or I am going to do this. And that's the end of the conversation. My father made a decision one day. He said, I'm never doing heroin again. That's it. I'm never going back to jail. I'm never selling drugs again. And that was it. He never touched it again.
That's super fire.
And that's where I get it from. So like with my mom as well, she had to go to counseling, the A meetings and stuff like that to get through it. Mm-hmm. But she was like, I'm not going back. Like, I'm not letting, like, this thing wants me dead. I'm not going back. You're not going to take me from my family. So they worked on it together and they figured it out and they got it together, and they've been clean since. And it's one of those things where, like, whenever I dealt with a form of adversity, it was one of those things where I was like, I literally looked at it as, yo, like, if my mom and dad could beat a heroin addiction, yo, I can beat the school system. Yeah, I can beat, like this is like little form of adversity. I can beat poverty. Like, it doesn't want me dead. Like, you, like, telling me that I'm not capable of doing something, it ain't gonna kill me. Heroin was gonna kill my mother and father. Like, they was literally gonna be up out of here if they didn't make a change. So for them to be able to beat that, that's why I don't make any excuses for myself or anybody else for that matter. You're not dealing with something that's life-threatening that could take your life away? Bruh, all it takes is for you to really be focused on it, dead set on it, and apply a why to it. Yo, why are you doing this in the first place? My mom and dad was like, my family is more important to me than the high that I'm getting. So I got to figure this out. And for me, my family and my legacy is more important to me than you telling me no. Like, you can tell me no 100 times. I'm coming right back. So you better find different ways to say it in different languages, whatever, but you're going to have to deal with me. So in the beginning where people saw me speaking and it was like, oh, he ain't going to last long. This ain't going to last long. Like, I'm like, you still have to deal with me year in and year out.
Yep.
I'm still here. You still going to see content from me. You still going to see me speaking. Like, you still going to see me working. I'm going to come up with something new. I'm going to find another way. Like, we just going to keep moving this thing until I'm going to apply pressure until the floodgates break. Like, that's the way I look at it. All gas, no brakes. My foot is on the gas pedal and I'm just going to keep going forward no matter what. Like, I don't care what happens.
Yeah.
I'm not going to change. My core values don't change. So you can say what you want. You can do what you want. You can try to close as many doors as you want. But the people that are out there who value my expertise and value my gift, they're going to make a way for me. And your gift always makes room for you.
I just want to speak back on to what you know about the whole judging a book by its cover and your story, just because I believe that I have that same, don't judge a book by its cover. It's many reasons, but a huge part of that is because I actually went through the same thing as you. However, just a little differently. Like, my mom battled with heroin addiction for 13 years and then it took her life. She's no longer here anymore. And it used to, man, like, going through that, and as you know, like, when they're strung out on it and they're high and they're doing shit, they look nuts. They look nuts, right? They stealing shit. They look high. They look fucked up. They look, all that shit. They look like they're just
unrecognizable.
Shot. Yeah, but you know who they are. You know that they're a good person. You know that they're loving. All that. So I don't know. I don't want to get into it. But.
I get you. I know exactly how you feel. I know exactly where you're coming from because I have a long line of people within my family who have dealt with drug addictions. And when you see it firsthand, you want them to get better. You want them to get off it, but you can't do it for them. The only thing you can do is just give them the love and support. And you keep praying for them. But it has to be a firm, steadfast decision in their mind and their heart that they want more for their lives than what they're currently getting. And like I said, you just cannot do it for them. And the best thing that you can do for them is not become them. Yeah. You can't fall victim to the same thing because I don't know why, but I had this thing in my mind when I was younger. I was like, yo, I wonder if I'm strong enough to beat a drug addiction. Like, if I put heroin in my system, if I put, a drug in my system, can I beat it? Am I strong enough to beat it? But it's like, Brad, you already saw what happens when you play around with it. If you test it. You know what I mean? So you don't even need to go down that route. Like, your mother and father already beat it for you. So you don't have to go through that.
Absolutely.
So it's like, you don't even got to touch it, taste it, play with it. Like, they put you in a situation where you don't have to work from that deficit. Yeah. You might have a different deficit that you're working from, but you ain't got to deal with that one. Don't double down on the deficit.
Exactly. Now you have two things to worry about.
Right. Don't be the special ed kid with the heroin addiction. Like, don't do that.
Exactly.
Like, beat the special ed portion of it, and then you can get to the standard. And then when you get to the standard, then you can work to get to success. Because what other people wears, like, they're at the standard when you're talking about the kids that you deal with in school, how they're in the standard class and they chilling, they don't really know that they're blessed.
Exactly.
Like, when you're at